Something unexpected is unfolding, and it has the entire NFL buzzing. A moment that no one saw coming, a shift that could redefine the LA Chargers season. Today, we're diving straight into the surprising truth that has analysts stunned and fans questioning what comes next. Stay close, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see this team. All right, something rare just happened with the LA Chargers, and it's catching everyone off guard. Before we get into the heart of this breaking story, let me ask you something simple. Who was the very first Chargers player that made you fall in love with this team? That one name you still remember from childhood, the player who hooked you and never let go. Drop it in the comments. I always enjoy hearing those first memories from real fans. And now, let's get into the shocker. I was digging through a Jaguars website earlier today, just scanning through their staff predictions. These aren't random voices. These are analysts who follow Jacksonville closely, who understand their roster, their tendencies, and their identity. Usually, writers who cover a team lean toward their own side. It's natural. When you watch a team every day, you start seeing hope, potential, and openings even when they aren't obvious. But this time, something different happened. Every single one of these analysts, not some, not most, every one of them except one, picked the Chargers to win. And not just win by double digits. Even the one who didn't call it a blowout still took the Chargers to come out on top. Think about that for a second. Experts who study the Jaguars, who understand their strengths, who know exactly where the matchups favor Jacksonville, are all pointing toward the Chargers. And not just a win, a convincing win. That doesn't happen often. That kind of unanimous confidence from the opposing team's analysts is rare, almost unheard of. Before we jump into the deeper reasons behind this powerful prediction, take 1 second to support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Before we bring you the latest NFL updates, I want you here with us, every step of the way. Alright, let's move on to the new news. The analysts laid out their explanations, and the core message was clear: the Chargers aren't just expected to show up, they're expected to take control. Matchups, momentum, preparation, everything seems to tilt in their favor this week. And when voices outside the fanbase start sounding this confident, it tells you something deeper is happening. Something shifting. Something building. And this is only the beginning. Stay with me. They were asked a simple question: who's the real X factor in this matchup? And without hesitation, one of the analysts pointed directly at Trevor Lawrence. But then came the name that really caught my attention: Aranda Gatson. I don't know Gus personally, but when he said Gatson is a dynamic rookie, he wasn't exaggerating. Pairing this young playmaker with a veteran like Keenan Allen creates a combination that should make any defense uncomfortable. And here's the surprising part: Gatson has actually been a more efficient target than several established tight ends across the league. More reliable, more productive, and far more explosive than people expected coming into this season. And the bad news for Jacksonville? They've been one of the worst defenses in the league when it comes to stopping tight ends, bottom 5 in catches, yards, and touchdowns allowed. That's not a weakness, that's a problem. And Gatson is exactly the type of player who can expose it. What makes this even more interesting is that Gatson will be on the field. Add him to a scheme where Ladd is moving everywhere, and Keenan Allen continues doing what he's done for years. Suddenly the Chargers' offense looks unpredictable in the best possible way. Another analyst raised a different concern: can Jacksonville's coaching staff regroup after the mess they put on tape last Sunday? Facing a Jim Harbaugh-led team is no small test. It reveals everything: discipline, adjustments, preparation. And this week, Jacksonville's staff will be under the microscope. Yet even with these concerns, every prediction still leans heavily toward the Chargers. And here's where I'll be honest: I've been uneasy about this matchup. It has the feeling of a classic trap game. You're coming off a strong performance, flying across the country, heading into the bye week. That's exactly when a team can get caught slipping. But here's how I see it: even if the Chargers drop this one, don't panic. Stay healthy. Keep the bigger picture in sight. The schedule ahead is favorable. The Chiefs and Broncos still have to face each other twice down the stretch, meaning one of them will take hits in the standings no matter what. The opportunities are still there. The path is still open. So yes, this game matters. But it doesn't define the season. The key is simple: stay focused, stay sharp, and stay healthy. But here's the truth that keeps getting overlooked: Jacksonville is sliding, and the Chargers are finding their stride. That's the real story. So let's move straight into what actually matters. The latest injury report paints a surprisingly positive picture. Keenan Allen, full practice, cleared, ready. Bud Dupree, good to go. Aranda Gatson, full participation, no restrictions. A few names still sit in the questionable category: Bobby Hart, Quinton Johnson, Elijah Molden, and Tibb, but the overall health of this roster is far better than most teams this deep into the season. Tart is set. Pman logged a full session. Lad Monty had a couple of limited practices earlier, which raised some eyebrows, but he's fine. Nothing concerning. Just the natural wear and tear of a team that still hasn't had its bye week. And honestly, people forget that. Other teams have already had a week to recover, reset, and rebuild their strength. The Chargers haven't. Their break comes after this long, demanding trip. And yet, look at how healthy they are. That alone says something. There's also a rumor floating around that caught my attention. Word is, the Chargers may have explored the possibility of going after Devon Achane from the Dolphins. 24 years old, electric talent, entering a contract year. Miami reportedly wanted a second-round pick plus additional compensation. The deal never happened, but the idea itself is interesting. Whether the rumor is solid or not, it tells you something about the mindset in the building. They're not just thinking about right now, they're scanning for opportunities, looking for ways to elevate this roster, staying aggressive even behind the scenes. And that's the sign of a team that believes its window is open. What really stands out to me is how different the Chargers front office looks this season. For the longest time, the GM had a reputation for guarding draft picks like treasure, stacking them, saving them, refusing to move unless absolutely necessary. And honestly, I didn't hate that strategy. It was painful in the moment, sure, but I always thought those picks would pay off down the road. But now? Now he's out here making moves like a completely different man. 3 trades. 2 new additions. A player shipped out. Decisions, risks, activity, actual activity. It's refreshing to see a front office that isn't afraid to adjust, adapt, and take action. This is what a team with ambition looks like. And speaking of ambition, this week's slate of games is loaded, and I can't help but be excited for every storyline that's about to unfold. Last night we watched Jets-Patriots. Look, I always root for the Jets because of Aaron Glenn. He used to be connected to the Lions, but I still can't figure that team out. The Patriots, meanwhile, look sharper than they have in a while. Interesting dynamic, but nothing that affects the Chargers' world. Then you've got Dolphins, Commanders. If the Commanders don't win, their playoff hopes evaporate right there. The Dolphins, though, they're coming off a big win against the Bills, and the momentum is clearly with them. Packers, Giants is another one with pressure all over it. Green Bay has been up and down, constantly playing to the level of their opponent. And now they're facing a Giants team that just fired their head coach. That type of chaos can spark a team, or break it. Either way, it's going to be interesting. And then Bills, Buccaneers, a matchup where both sides desperately need a victory. 2 teams that swear they should be among the top contenders in their conferences, yet both standing at a crossroads. That kind of urgency makes games unpredictable, and fun to watch. Every matchup this week has weight. Every game has a storyline. And all of it leads back to one thing: the energy around this league is building fast, and the Chargers are stepping right into the thick of it. And now we reach the matchup everyone has circled: Chiefs vs Broncos at 4:30. The winner comes out feeling steady. The loser? Suddenly facing questions they didn't expect this deep into the season. Kansas City has almost no margin left, they've let too many games slip already. Denver, on the other hand, can't afford to stumble, not with the division lead shifting like sand. Both teams say they're fine, but neither can walk out of this one casually. And then, Lions versus Eagles. What a collision that's going to be. I'll be honest, I still can't figure the Eagles out. They win, consistently, and they have talent everywhere, yet something about their offense just doesn't match the pieces on paper. A Super Bowl MVP quarterback, elite wideouts, a strong line, a powerful run game, and still the rhythm feels off. But defensively? They're a wall. The Lions come in with playmakers at every level and a coach who calls games with pure fire. That matchup is going to reveal something real about both teams. Sometimes it's worth stepping back and just scanning the league like this. We never really do it, but the stories around the NFL right now are too good to ignore. Rivalries heating up, pressure mounting, and every team fighting to define its identity before the stretch run. Before we wrap up, share something with me. Who was that first player who made you love football? That one name you'll never forget. Every fan has one. It's part of why this sport feels so massive and so personal at the same time. Drop your thoughts, and stay with me as we roll into the next one.